I watched the 2 seasons of The Boys, and although I like the series as a whole, I have to be frank, it's not well written. If you limit your impressions to the dark humor and the social critique, it's pretty entertaining. The things people with power of any kind go through in today's society are fairly close to what we see in the show. I can even say it does a critique on superheroes much better than any anime. Those who like shows such as My Hero Academia or One Punch Man or even Tiger and Bunny, for its supposed deconstruction of the superhero formula, can now shut the hell up, because a single episode of The Boys does more thematic exploration than entire seasons of those mediocre series. But even as dumb comedy, it's fairly good most of the time, as the bad guys are not just parodies of the Justice League, but also go through all sorts of mental and social issues, as they are trying to remain relevant at a time when popularity is everything, while at the same time being complete assholes that keep breaking the law and do all sorts of creepy shit because they get intoxicated by the power they possess and the safety they feel thanks to their company constantly covering up all the shit they keep on doing up to a point. Because the core of the drama is that they get away with it, but not completely, as they still get punished from behind the scenes, and seeing them slowly descend into madness is funny and tragic at the same time. Notice how all this time I am talking about the bad guys and not the normal people who are trying to expose them. As per usual, the story is as good as its villains, and although the good guys have issues of their own, they are far simpler, so I cannot say I cared that much about them. With that said, the comedy doesn't work so well for me when it involves excessive amounts of violence. It's often over the top, and the show comes off as schlock entertainment for the lowest common denominator. It would feel more mature as a whole if it wasn't so extreme or was kept out of screen. When it comes to subversions of superheroes, it is better than anime, but stands no chance next to Watchmen, V for Vendetta, or even The Max. It's not nearly that well written either. Just like society can't control an army of super powerful maniacs, the narrative can't control most of the superpowers when they are ill-defined and can work however it fits the plot. Basically anything can happen however the writers want to, since they can always excuse it as a superpower. And yet most of the dramedy is ruined exactly because every problem can be fixed very easily because of them. It constantly feels like the superheroes are not doing something they could always do since the beginning for the sake of having enough episodes. I'm looking at you, A-Train! The best way to enjoy the show is to accept it as dumb entertainment which bothers to have a far more theme exploration than one would expect out of something with a lazily written plot and too much violence. As far as schlock is concerned, the best parts are by far every scene where Homelander is on screen. Most characters are fine, but I wouldn't like the show as much as I did, despite its problems, if it weren't for him. His actor is giving it all. He's not holding back, he's not afraid to ridicule himself by doing some really creepy shit, and he encapsulates the entire premise of the show. He makes everything self-aware, and thus much easier to laugh at how schlocky it is. As a whole, I am giving the first season a 7 and the second a 6, because the powers are really getting out of control. If you pay attention, most plot lines are deliberately not wrapping up in a few minutes, because the superhumans are conveniently not using their powers. I will still watch the third season when and if it comes out, and I will always be using it as a prime example for why most modern live-action series are better than modern anime with similar themes. But other than that, The Boys is not as great as the hype makes it sound to be.